Hello, good morning. Welcome to Stampin' Chat. It's Tuesday the 16th of November. We are motoring our way through this year. I'm just going to check that I'm live in the right place, and whilst I do that, hopefully somebody will be joining us. Gosh, I can't see my MacBook with these glasses on, it's too far away. Okay, so a couple of you are hopping on. If you're joining me, please do say hello. It's always nice to know who is here. Good morning, Lucianne. How are you? Zoe, do say hello. I can see there's a few people watching. I know sometimes people are just kind of scrolling, and I think that's when names pop up. But if you're planning on stopping, watching a bit of live stamping, then you are more than welcome. The more the merrier. Hello Mary, how are you doing? How are we all? So it's pretty warm here in the UK at the moment. We woke up to a very misty, kind of damp morning this morning. Morning Ellie, how are you doing? Yeah, my hair hates that kind of weather. I try to only straighten the ends once a day. We were talking about hair last week, I think. Just because I don't want to damage it, you know, anymore, because having highlights on is not great for the hair either, is it? So I try to only straighten it, but because I'd been out yesterday and I took Evsie out for a walk in the pushchair to get her to sleep, my hair kind of flicks out here, and I did a Zoom class last night and I thought I'm not going to straighten my hair again, so I was apologising for having flicky out hair. So yeah, Mary, it's quite mild here. I mean, we've actually got the heating on. It seemed to have sorted itself out. It's something to do with the thermostat, and we're too scared to touch it now and turn it off in case it goes wrong, but the heating is on 24/7, which, you know, it's a big stone building to warm up, so I'm not too worried about that, because when it goes off it does cool down over there, and the walls are about 3 foot deep. So yeah, I like to keep it topped up, but it's quite mild. Like I said, a bit damp this morning. The ground was damp. The leaves are all soggy on the garden. Alfie got soaking wet paws going around first thing at 7 this morning. But I don't think the sun is going to come out. I'm just looking out of the Velux. It's looking pretty grey. It's a bit grim, but it's warm and it's dry at the moment, so all things good. Right, I'm not going to talk for too long, because even though, dare I say, I am feeling a bit better, after last week, after my live, I seemed to go downhill. As the day went on, by the evening I felt really rough again. So this cold is definitely hanging on to me. So Zoe, you are in Staines upon Thames. Oh, lovely, and it's lovely and sunny. Jealous. I do like a bit of sun. I know a lot of you will agree with me that it does just kind of lift the spirit a bit, doesn't it? So, can't read. Mary, I have to look at my Mac because some of the comments have scrolled, and I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a fuzz with these glasses on. My MacBook's a little bit far away from me, but Mary, you got the heating on there too. Not sure where spring has gone. Oh, I shouldn't say this because I do enjoy all of our seasons, and at the moment I did share a picture on my stories a couple of days ago on Instagram of the leaves on the trees. They are stunning. They are hard work at the moment, but the colours, they just changed over a few days. They're just turning kind of yellowy now. They are stunning, but I'm not going to lie, I am already looking forward to spring. I do love spring. So I am a bit of a cold person. I need to layer up and wrap up, otherwise once the cold gets into my bones I find it really hard to get warm again. So I'm not going to talk, she says, I'm not going to talk for too long, waffling on. You all know I'm good at that, because I don't know how long the sniffs and the voice are going to hold out. So I'm going to turn you down to my desk. I want to talk to you about some great things happening with Stampin' Up at the moment, and then I would chat with you whilst we're crafting about on stage that we had at the weekend, which was for demonstrators, a great event. Sadly we couldn't meet in person due to obvious reasons, but it was another virtual event, but I was really thankful that some of my team came over to the studio and stamped with me for the morning, which was absolutely lovely. You cannot beat gathering in small groups and stamping. It is just simply the best thing. So I'm going to turn you down, move everything out of the way. Don't want you to see a mess everywhere. Not that it's a mess. I don't usually work in a mess. So just bear with the palm of the hand while I set you down onto my desk. Oh, my holder is jumping about. And I'll wait for the catch-up. Sorry, Alfie Poppet. He was sat under my chair then and I moved. Wait for the catch-up, tape you down. Quick chat about what is going on. Oh, Facebook, or should I say internet? Having to refresh now. Which is going to prove difficult. Let's just zoom in a tad. There we go. Straighten you up. Going to prove difficult with the comments. So how are we all doing anyway? Always waffle on about me. You know you like a good life story, catch up from me, but how are we all doing? Because that is important. Hope we are all okay. Hope you've all started your Christmas shopping. I think we're straight now, so. Because we are nearing the end of November. Don't quite know how that is happening. I'm just thinking we're straight there. I'm going to leave it at that. So, yeah, end of November, almost. Shouldn't wish it away. We're only just halfway through, but I'm already looking towards next week and what's happening next week because I have a big birthday coming up and we might be going away. We haven't 100% decided. The decision will be made tonight because we can't leave it any longer to book anything. So, yeah, big birthday coming up. So excited about that. Ellie, you had the best time here for the on-stage catch-up. Oh, that's good to hear. I know, cannot wait for the old-fashioned face-to-face convention like it used to be, mixing and mingling with a few hundred other demonstrators. It is just the best thing, isn't it? So, scroll, comments. Lucianne, it was Oscar's birthday yesterday. How lovely. Goodness me, is he 7 already? Where does the time go? What were we just saying about time? Yeah, it just runs away with us, doesn't it? Talking of time, let's get on with the task in hand. So, first things first, today has the launch of the seasonal sale. So it's for 2 days only. There is a link on my Facebook page to shop online with me direct, or if you go to kerrytims.co.uk, click the tab at the top that says shop Stampin' Up and it will take you to my online shop. Now, if you're local and maybe you just wanted a couple of ink pads, I am placing an order later, so message me. I just charge £1 for standard delivery from my European warehouse, and then you can either collect it from me or I can post it to you at cost. That might work out better than the standard £4.95 shipping from Stampin' Up. Totally up to you. Of course, if you're spending over £30, I recommend you use my host code, and then I send a little gift in the post next month just to say thank you for supporting me. So just a quick recap, I have been sharing stuff on this, on my stories on Instagram. I don't do many stories on Facebook. Maybe I should. Do people actually look at them? Because I don't look at other people's stories on Facebook. I don't scroll Facebook either. That's probably why. So we currently have 10% off cardstock, 15% off ink pads and 20% off dies. And the dies are from the annual catalogue, okay? So there's a whole list. There's loads to look through. I don't know if it is all of the cardstock, all of the ink pads. I know it doesn't include the collections, but ink pads are down to £5.95. So it's really a great time to stock up on your cardstock and your ink. And like I've been saying to everybody, if you've got that die set that you've been really wanting, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to cough, add that into your basket as well. So you're going to get 20% off with dies. So I'm just going to have a drink. Maybe just a little cough. Just to clear the throat. I think it's just that frog in there. I don't actually have a cough. Now, something really important that I need to talk to you about is the promotion that we've... Oh, Zoe, just seen that. Can you catch up later? Yes, of course. You've got to go. You take care. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, you'll catch the replay here and over on my YouTube channel as well. So yeah, with the promotion on the starter kit this month, there's no better time than today or tomorrow till the 18th to take up on this offer, because you can add into your kit, which is now just £75 this month. You can add in items from the sale, so you get extra value when you join my team. So if you want to know anything more about that, if you're just hopping on and you're wondering what I'm doing, or maybe you're going to watch what I'm doing and then at the end you're thinking this might be something you'd like to have a go at, joining my team is the best way to do that, because you become part of a really great community and there's always lots of help offered by everybody. And you get added to a Facebook group that I have, and there's lots of information in there as well. So I'm not going to talk too much about it because I talk about joining my team all the time. But if you've got an order of £75, it really is a no-brainer to join my team. And then you earn discounts on all your future orders as well. So, right, just 2 colours I'm using today. So we've got Basic Grey and Fresh Freesia, which is another one of our latest in colours. Let's pull that to one side. And I'm using this beautiful bundle, which I have to say, I just lost a die in my basket. It's been on my wish list, but I haven't got to it. I still have lots of products that I need to share with you. So I am super careful about what I buy. I do run this as a business, so I do have a bit of a business head on. I don't just wildly spend continually. I buy stuff that I like, that I would know that I'm going to be happy creating with, and I don't over purchase because there's only so much I can share and only so much I have time to share with. So I really wanted this set. It comes also with this beautiful hybrid embossing folder, but I was super excited to receive these as a gift from my team leader for being second in her annual awards. So Stampin' Up's year runs from October to September. So I recently received this as a gift and I couldn't have been happier because I absolutely love it. I've wanted it for ages, as I've said, but I've had so many other things to share with you that it just wasn't going to be something that was top of my list ahead of other things. So it is stunning. The images shown on the front of the cover are only shown at 70%, so they're not true to size, but you've got these beautiful flowers which are all on one stamp, and then you've got the infill. So if you're not too confident, I just realised I haven't got my light on, if you're not too confident about colouring or you're new, then this is a really good bundle to get. Let me show you it quickly in the catalogue. It's on page 116, so it's here. We've got some lovely samples there, and you can see that you can buy the stamps on their own, but the bundle, this comes as a set. So the dies and the hybrid embossing folder come as a set at £31, but then you can buy all 3 as a bundle, which is fabulous. Put that away, because I'm going to be using that. So I've mounted everything up. You've got these lovely, I haven't used these images yet. There's a few images I hadn't used. These lovely kind of border stamps, but that make great backgrounds as well. So I'm looking forward to playing more with this. And the cards that I've created for this live today, it's the first time I've played with this set. So I haven't really experimented with it. And I'm just showing you the simple way of colouring in the flowers using the infill stamps. You can see it's slightly distinctive. Hopefully you can see like the shaded areas on the stamps. So it's photopolymer. So we have the new style case for the photopolymer where your stamps stick directly in. And on its own it's £24 in the bundle £49.50. So beautiful set. Let me show you. Will this stand out? Let's pull in this paper. I'm also going to be using some of the craft paper and the new timber embossing folder that arrived last week, and I said to you that it wouldn't be long before I'd be pulling it out of my box and using it. So just scrolling for comments quick. Okay, we're all good. So I just wanted to show, let me pull out a piece of this just so that I can hold it behind. This is the embossing folder on its own. Seriously, look how textured that is. It is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. The detail in there, it's stunning. And that's it from the reverse. I think it works well both ways. So you can use it on its own as an embossing folder like that. Or this die here, and this is where the hybrid comes into this. If you have your embossing folder so that the Stampin' Up logo is facing you, open it out so that that front layer is up at the top. This die sits and kind of locks into place here, and then you pop your paper inside, not this one obviously because I've already embossed it, close it up and then run it through the embossing folder. So you're going to see me do that this morning. So I know some of you have purchased the hybrid embossing folders because we have a couple now, and you got a bit confused on how you use it. So this morning you will see that in action. So let's put those two to one side, open up these inks, and I have realised that I don't have a basic grey ink refill. It's gone onto my order today. I don't understand why I don't have one, but I will have soon. Oh, the other thing I'm using are these gorgeous Vellum Doilies. If you've not seen these before, they are fabulous. I think they're £4.75 and you get, is it 20? 24 in that packet. So just checking comments. Okay, I think we are zoomed in enough. Hard to see where I am. So here is my little pack of bits and pieces. So I've got fresh freesia for my base. I've got some pieces of the craft cardstock. Now, the craft cardstock is lighter on one side, but I quite like to use like the darker side. I've got some scraps for greetings. And then this is a little sneak peek. Now let me bring this in. Let's move those inks right out of the way. This is an upcoming, in fact, let's move all of that to one side for the moment. An upcoming set of paper. I think it's called Heart and Home. Let me check. Yep, it's called Heart and Home. It's coming in the January to June mini catalogue, and it was part of a collection of products we were able to order ahead of time for our on-stage at home event. Now, you've got florally sides, and then you've got these like basic grey kind of wood effect sides. Look how gorgeous this is. And it's part of a whole collection. We've got stamps, we've got dies, which I will share with you. How beautiful and pretty is this? It's got lovely colours in it. Again, fresh freesia. We've got garden green in here, but we've also got these lovely wood grain effects. We've got misty moonlight as well. So another old in colour. I say old, like last year's. And then we have this lovely wood grain as well, and then this garden green print. Obviously you get 12 sheets in a pack, and then finishing off with that plank one. But they are stunning. And to go with that, we were able to order this lovely set, which you will see more coming using this. I did share a project that I created for my team on my Instagram wasn't on my stories, it was just on my Instagram feed yesterday, I think it was. So I created a little treat pouch for them using this set, and we've also got this set of dies that is stunning as well. So that's a real sneak peek of something coming. You will see me doing much more with that. There are also some other items that go with that set. There's some ribbon that coordinates with it, and some, I've put them away now, but there are some little gems as well. So, right, let's get stamping because time is rolling. The voice is fading. And the more I talk, the more I want to clear my voice. So, starting with the Fresh Freesia. No green in sight today, guys. Are you shocked at me? Not a hint of soft succulent happening today. Okay, so base is folded in half. Today I'm working on landscape orientation. So my base card measures 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. This layer, let's move my embossing folders over by my cutting machine. I wanted to play with the new timber, and I thought it worked quite nicely with the florals in this set as well. So I'm just going to line that one in. Alf is having a little scratch. And just run that through my machine quickly. Honestly, the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, the die cutter machine, it's so smooth. So smooth. So hopefully you can see how gorgeous that is. It looks nice on both sides. Like a lot of our embossing folders, they work either way. So I'm going to pop this one straight down on here. Let's grab a wet wipe out ready, because I'm opening my Tombow, and you know when I open the Tombow, there's a good chance it's going to end up on my fingers. So now my Tombow has been doing all sorts of funny things. Which side am I going to use? Let's do this one. On Friday it was behaving like a volcano, then it totally blocked up. And they do kind of react with the weather. If it's really hot, the Tombow seems to flow very fast. So be wary of that. And if you're new to Tombow, I know I had some ladies who joined me for coffee and card, which was a whole week ago. We had such a fun time last Tuesday afternoon. But I sold quite a few Tombows because I'm allowed to cash and carry that product. So that means I'm allowed to buy it ahead and then sell it on the day. And I'm not allowed to do that with any of our stamps and inks and papers, only our kits collection. So very limited on what I can take along. But the Tombow is amazing. I know a lot of you use it and a lot of you love it. But I think when you first start using it, when you're first introduced to it, you need to give it time to understand just how much you need to use, because it's so strong. You need very little. Right, let's put that to one side and do some stamping first, and then we'll start sticking everything together. So firstly, I've mounted up, how beautiful is this? In photopolymer. Hi Vicky, how are you? Thank you for stopping by. It's nice to have you. So we're using the Art in Bloom set today because it's new to me, and I wanted to steer away from Christmas for a little and move away from Eden's Garden because I've just been sharing loads with it. I've got some more cards to share with you after, but I didn't want to stamp with it again today. I wanted to share something a bit different and something a bit non-Christmassy, because I know some of you have done a lot of Christmas crafting. I know some of you haven't even started yet, and if you haven't, you're not alone and you've still got plenty of time. But I was chatting on a Zoom class that I did last night, and one of my lovely ladies, who she couldn't be here this morning, but she quite often catches up with the live, she has made 80 Christmas cards. So Kate, when you catch up with this later, I take my hat off to you. So well done on getting a good head start. And I think she's been doing a few each week. So that's a little tip for you. So this, as I said, is if I show you it on the cover, it looks like they're individual, but they're actually all on one big stamp. So if you don't have a large enough block, you could use your Stamparatus to do this as well. So let's find a scrap. Got a large, oh, that's an envelope, that's not a large piece. That's a large piece. So I'm going to ink these flowers up in basic grey. My MacBook just went to sleep then. So I'm just giving it a good ink, making sure it's all inked up. And as I said, my ink, I don't have the ink refill, so I probably could do with topping this one up. But I'm just going to stamp that straight down onto there. Aren't these images just so pretty? Crying out for multiple ways of being coloured in. So you could use blends, Stampin' Blends, you could use watercolour pencils, aqua painters, lots of different ways. And at my event on Friday, where my team came over to stamp for on stage at home, Belle brought the pastels for us to play with, and that was so fun as well. And they are on my list to order as well, so do look out for some more projects using the pastels. For those of you that have been holding off getting them because you're not sure what to do with them, hopefully soon I'll be able to offer a little bit of inspiration for you. So if you're hopping on, I can see numbers are jumping up. Do please say hello. It's lovely to know who is here. Going to have a quick scroll because I can see some comments coming up on my phone. Oh, morning, Helen. Thank you for stopping by. Lovely to have you. Vicky, you've just done the same amount of Christmas cards for a community service that's connected to your church. That is absolutely amazing. Well done, you. That's fabulous. Absolutely brilliant. Right, what we're going to do next, we've stamped that large image. And I've mounted up the 3 infill stamps. So as I said, you could colour these in any way you wish, but to make it really quick and easy, Stampin' Up have given us the infill stamp that just colours it in straight away without any fuss. Now I have re-inked, and I've not done the best of job at squidging it in. You can see the dots of ink, but I've re-inked my Fresh Freesia because it was lacking a little. So let's pull in the ink so you can see. And these are really quite distinctive. I'm sure you can see that with the bobbles. And probably not the best time for me to re-ink when I'm using a solid stamp. So I don't know if you can see there's lots of dots on there. That means that maybe my ink pad is a little bit too juicy. But literally, these just kind of line over the outline image, but not perfectly. Okay, so they leave an edge on there. They don't fit perfectly. They kind of leave a little white gap. So I'm going to infill all 3 as best as I can see without having my head in the camera. Let's just scroll for comments. You do it every year, Vicky. That's amazing. You do birthday cards as well. For the volunteer and thank you and baby cards, all donated by yourself. That is so generous. Do you know what? I think the best thing is giving, isn't it? I love to give, and I think it just gives you the best feeling, especially when you're giving to like a good cause as well, that's helping others out. So I'm just lining that in as best as my eye will see. So that's quite heavy colour, but I don't mind that. Sorry, just scrolling. And I think I'm going to chop that off. And then I'm going to show you how this works. And we'll come back and stamp. I'm going to grab my hybrid folder. And pull in the dies. So I want this one here, and show you how it cuts out. So as I've said, have the Stampin' Up logo to the front of you, Open it up and your die sits on this top panel here. And if you hover it over those flowers in the middle and kind of wiggle it around, you'll feel it kind of fall into place. And then if you apply pressure and try and move it side to side, it won't move. And then what I do is I hold that tight. I'm going to move those inks, hold it tight and flip it over. I'm still holding that die into place. And then line in my images underneath. So I'm still applying pressure just to hold that die into place and then lining up, which I think looks pretty okay. It's giving it a squeeze and then folding in the back cover and holding it all together. Now I'm going to quickly run that through. And with my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine, it goes on number 1. And it goes straight down, no other plates, and then number 4, the grey one on top. And it's important you put this on top, otherwise it will really bend your embossing folder. Just run that through. And then this is what happens. Pop the die back. So it cuts them out and embosses them at the same time. How beautiful. So you can see from the, and they're very, very textured. Can you see they've got like a real edge that makes them pop out? How beautiful is that just from the reverse on its own? Absolutely stunning. Love, love, love. Oh, let's bring that back in and stamp. Get rid of that bit of fluff. So for my greeting, I do need to do another bit of die cutting as well. I'll do that quickly. I need to just cut this kind of like a postage stamp label, but it's a long one. I'll just cut that really quickly. And then I'll get my greetings done. So just cut that one out. It's a really lovely label for adding greetings onto or doing anything with, really. Just layering up. I'm not stamping on this one. I'm just using it as part of my card. Keep putting that away. I still need it. Right, I've got a couple of scraps of skinny strips of basic white. And I thought I would pull out, just check comments quickly. Yeah, sharing is good, isn't it? Sharing is caring. So I like this greeting. Thanks for making me happy. Because people do that for us, and there's no better excuse than sending a card with a greeting like this on. I know some of you find some of our greetings a little bit gushy. But I think for the right person and the right occasion, you could get use out of a lot of greetings that you probably at first would dismiss. So I'm going to pull back in my basic grey and I'm just going to ink up the word thanks because I don't need any of the rest of it for now. So maybe you can see that. And I'm just going to stamp that down. Let's go to this end, and then if I've got any ink anywhere else, it won't waste. So I'm just stamping the word thanks. And then I thought I would use the dear friend. And we're going to pop this onto this skinny little strip. Oh, I'm going to have to hover right over. Might get a bit of heavy breathing. The microphone on here is so sensitive. So I'm a bit conscious about when I have to blow my nose. Oh, TMI. That maybe I need to walk right away across the other side of the studio so you can't hear me. Oh, it's rotten having a cold. But do you know what? It could be much worse. I am fine. Right, so I've got thanks, dear friend. And that's it for stamping. move these inks out of the way and bring back in some elements. Just realised I need to do a little bit more die cutting, so I'll do that now. So I've pulled in a piece of the craft cardstock, which you all know I love. I think it teams really well with lots of different colours. And as I said, the reverse side, there are two sides to it, obviously, but one side is like quite creamy and the other side is kind of more pale. That was a terrible description of colour, but so I want to do these lovely delicate leaves. There are stamps in the set, this one, which is beautiful, but I'm just die cutting today. So just bring my top plate in and I'm just going to run that through. It had to move, didn't it? As I turned around. So I love it that you have your two dies. That's come out lovely and clean. Two dies on one actual piece. Let's just scoop those bits into my bin. And then my trusty take your pick, just used to push out these pieces that were left behind. Really pretty leaf die that will work with anything. There we go. Put all of those in my little bin. I have a little bin right next to me, just a little flat metal tray that I just throw everything into because you know I'm slightly OCD. I like things to be just so, and I can't stand all bits everywhere where I'm working. So as soon as I have a bit of rubbish, in the bin it goes, and it just helps to keep things tidy as well. Because you know what happens, you start stamping and creating and then suddenly you have all of this stuff like appearing around you until you have no room left to stamp. So kind of, I feel a great policy is to tidy as you go. Right, I've got a strip of the craft paper and this is just about 1/2 inch wide. I'm going to pop just a quick run of Tombow all the way along. Remember, we're sticking down onto an embossed layer, so we're going to need to hold this down for a little minute. Wondering, you know I don't like doing this, but I'm wondering whether to zoom in a little bit. I do feel like you're a million miles away. I'm going to have a go. If you see my ceiling, I apologise. Because sometimes it turns everything upside down. Okay, so we're just layering that one, and then on top we're going to put down this Heart and Home DSP, which has the Misty Moonlight pattern on the reverse. And this one is just slightly shorter and looks to be just over 1 inch. Is that straight? It is 1 inch wide. So my craft is 4 5/8 by about 1/2 inch, and then my DSP is 4 1/2 by 1 inch. Okay, next let's pull out. How many of you have got these doilies? Because I know I give them away as little gifts, little prizes. They've sometimes been gifts as for online orders. So there are so many in here. So there's 24. They go such a long way. The only thing I do notice is that you sometimes have to push out some of the bits that just haven't quite come out when they've been. I'm not sure how these would be cut. Not laser cut, are they? not on vellum. But just be careful you don't tear it. Got some bits on there. And then all I'm going to do is lay it straight down onto my card. And I think probably what I could do is simply pop a little bit of glue over this side because it's going to be hidden. So remember, when you add adhesive to vellum, it shows through when it dries. So I'm just going to pop it down there. Hold it for a little minute because the next layer that I'm putting on will anchor everything else down on there. So next I'm going to add in this lovely little die cut. And I'm going to pop plenty of Tombow on the back of here so that it helps to hold down, and Mac is going to sleep, helps to hold down the vellum. I'm just going to pop it down in the middle, there like that. Okay, I think that is straight. And I'm going to use just one of my flowers. Oh, I just love it. Isn't it pretty? Very pretty. And I'm going to pop a couple of mini dimensionals behind. I'll put 3 on just to kind of balance it out a little. And place that one over here. Where is my greeting going? Yep, about there. Like that. So I've just laid that down. Lots of texture going on here. And then the little leaves, just going to add in. I'm not sure about having it that way. It's got such a pointy end on it. I think it's designed to go that way, but I'm going to put it that way. And just want to lift that up. And I don't want these to overhang too far over the edge of my card, otherwise it won't fit in my envelope. Now if I just grab, I've got an envelope here. This is a Stampin' Up envelope, and I do highly recommend these because they are beautiful to stamp onto when you're sending something. But not only that, if you are a fountain pen lover like me, they are great to write on with ink. So my cards are always, there's always plenty of scope to add on, you know, bits that are hanging over the edge to allow for it to fit in the envelope. So couldn't really go much wider than the 5 3/4 because of the size of our cardstock. So you've got kind of a bit of wiggle room with pieces hanging over the edge. So just checking comments. And then all we're going to do now is add in our greetings. So we'll pop on some dimensionals. The minis, of course, are my favourite. I'm almost at the end of my edge strip. So remember that when you've used all the dimensionals in the centre, do not throw it away. The outside pieces are super handy. I think we'll just pop you there. Thanks, dear friend. And there we go. So that's my card complete. I'm not going to add anything else on there. We could put some sparkly gems on there, or maybe the opal rhinestones, the opal rounds, I think they're called. They would look quite nice on there. So I am going to blow my nose. I'm going down this end of the studio. Whilst you have a look at that card, I just love these colours. I love the craft teamed with it, just to kind of like ground it. So hope you like it too. I'm going to pull that to one side. Oh, Alf is all curled up on his bed, bless him. And bring in some pieces for the next card. So this time, I thought we'd have our card in a different orientation because I love like fun folds and things like that. And talking of fun folds, my 6 card class for December will be either for Christmas cards or non-Christmas cards. But I'm going to be doing fun folds just because it's December, and I think it would just be nice to learn some different ways that we fold our cards. So this is, it's the same as, it's going to be the same size card. So I've taken an A4 sheet in portrait and I've cut it down the middle at 4 1/8, and then I've cut it to 11 1/2. Okay, so that when we fold it, it becomes 5 3/4 by 4 1/8. Let's grab my bone folder. It feels long, but I think it's fine. Yeah, it's 5 3/4 by 4 1/8. And we're going to have it portrait for this one. And then I've got same colours and a few different pieces to use on this one. So to start with, I'm going to pull back in my timber. I almost said bark then because you know I love my bark embossing folder. And I'm going to pop this one in. Remember, keep your Stampin' Up logo at the top. Let's check comments because I can see there's people coming in and out. Are you all still awake? I know some of you like work quietly while you're watching. Oh, it's so hard to read the comments when the internet threw me out and have to come back in. So I'm just going to run that through my machine. And put all my plates back ready. I think we were talking about this on Saturday. I keep saying Saturday, on Friday at my team event. Our embossing folders are amazing, and I think for what they cost, they just add such a great kind of extra to a project and just give it a little bit, you know, a bit something more on a background. Stunning. Stunning, stunning. Right, what should we do next? I've done a few die cut pieces, so this card isn't going to take long at all, actually. I'm going to lay this one down ready. I don't know about you guys, but it's one of those weeks where, although it's only Tuesday, it feels like the weekend was a million years ago. I don't know why that is. Had quite a full-on day yesterday. I came over first thing and did a bit of work, and then at about 9 I headed over to see Coles and the grandchildren, and then got back, I don't know, about 1:45, had a bit of lunch, and then came back over and started designing projects for my 6 card class next month, which I absolutely love doing. I love creating. I don't mind cutting kits and preparing kits, but the most fun thing is actually designing and coming up with the ideas. I do love that. And then last night I had a Zoom class, which was free. It was open to anyone to join in, and I'd posted out kits to people who purchased online with me during the first week when I had my 12th birthday with Stampin' Up last month. So I posted out kits to those people as a little thank you for shopping with me. And then last night we created 3 cards using those kits. But I opened it up to anybody in my VIP group to pop in and just stamp along with us. So we had a fun evening. It wasn't a huge gathering, but albeit it was fun. And I'll share the cards with you that we made after. And they're cards that I did with my team as well. So let's pop this craft layer down. So a bit of Tombow on the middle, and this time I'm going to bring it up a bit from the bottom of my card. Excuse me, that frog is trying to come out. I wish it would come out and go away. I don't know about you, but when you have a bit of a sniffle, you're embarrassed in case people think you've got something far worse than a head cold. Strange times we're living in, isn't it, guys? Strange times. So I hope you all had a nice weekend as well. They just come and go, don't they? Okay, so same as last time, just layering up that lovely wood grain DSP. And then this time, I've got some scraps here. Thought I'd use another die in the set. And that was this lovely, I'm holding it up quite high, I forgot that you are zoomed in a bit. This lovely die here, which actually works beautifully with this greeting. But I'm going to cut a couple of these. You often see me give my dies a little bit of a bend. I'm not bending them firmly, it's just a little squeeze, because sometimes when you've run it through your machine a few times, it may curve if you've got a curvy plate. And it's really hard when you lay it down on. If it's curvy, you go and put your top plate on and it will move. So I like to try and encourage my dies to stay flat. So I'm just going to cut a couple of these. Bring in the plates. Move that to one side. I might just tape this down to be on the safe side, because as I move it over, it tends to slide around a bit. Pop that one on top, just run that through. Yeah, what else did you guys get up to at the weekend? Jason worked on Saturday after a very busy week of work, working evenings, it was a really strange week last week because he just wasn't around. He worked on Saturday and didn't get home until like almost 2 o'clock, so there wasn't a lot of time left to go anywhere or do anything. I can't remember what we did. We took somebody for a WALK, and then I can't remember what else we did. I think we might have jumped in the hot tub just as it was getting dark. We quite often will do that at the weekend. It's a bit of a treat. And on Sunday, we took ourselves over to Worcester, which is about half an hour from here. Don't know if any of you local guys have been to Worcester, but obviously it was Sunday, so a lot of shops were closed. But we wanted to go out and do coffee and lunch, which we haven't done for such a long time. We did have a coffee and lunch at the Hub a couple of weeks ago, she says. But like before lockdown, we used to do something every Saturday or Sunday. We would go find a local cafe and go and support them and have a bit of lunch and just a chance to get out. So we had a little bit of a shop. We had a delicious lunch at, what was the cafe called? My memory is getting the better of me now, but Papa something in Worcester, but it was delicious. We had panini and a carrot and walnut cake, carrot and something cake. It was delicious. It was delicious. And then we did a little bit of shop. I managed to do a bit of Christmas shopping for Vivi and Eva, which was good. So yeah, just a nice opportunity just to get out and do something a bit different. Right, what I'm going to do is chop these. Probably in half might work. I love how it leaves like a border. I think you can see that. It leaves a border around the edge. I really like that it does that. And then I'm going to add these onto my card. I'm only using 3, so I can keep that one for something else. And I'm going to just line them roughly where I think they need to go. Think about there. And just stick them down. Now, when I made my original card, I did this step differently, and then when I was looking at it again, I thought to myself, Kerry, you made that hard work. You know the saying, we learn from our mistakes. It doesn't always happen with me. I'm quite often done the same stupid thing several times. So I'm just laying these down with a nice even border in between. Bit of Tombow. Off he's snoring now. Oh, to be a dog. Okay, so I've just popped those 3 down on there above that beautiful DSP, and I'm going to pull in another doily. And just see if there are any pieces to push out. There's a few. It's kind of like the same ones that tend to stick in. It's not too many, just a couple. Just tip those in my bin. And then I'm going to pop that layer straight down over the top. Now you will see, if you look at it closely, you can see the difference between the front side and the reverse. It's kind of like got an edge on it. Now I am going to just pop Tombow over on the right hand side here, because again I'm going to be anchoring it down. I'm just going to lay it straight down over there. Like that. So you can just about see those like banners hiding behind. And then the flowers that I used, I cut 3, didn't I, earlier? These are the 2 that are left over. I'm going to use those, and I've die cut a couple more of the leaves. Let's just pull that bit out. And oh, I need another label, and this time I'm going to stamp onto this label. So let's pull in my mat, and I made this card for my mum as well for her birthday. It was her birthday at the weekend, so I think I need to get this stamp out. I don't think I've got it out yet. Yeah, never not loving you. I know some of you will not like this greeting. You're thinking to yourself, well, who would I give that to? But you never know. You could just ink up with a marker pen, loving you, and then like add on another word from another set, or loving you, dear friend, or put dear friend in front of it. Dear friend, loving you. So many options. Just inking that one up in basic grey. Have that one straight on my grid. Stamp that down. I do like the style of fonts in this set. And then we can pop this one together. How are we doing for time? We're on an hour. So let's add some dimensionals on here. Alfie's having another scratch. I think we'll put this one down first. And this will help to hold our vellum. I mean, the vellum's pretty secure just from that little bit of Tombow. Just checking for comments. You're all very quiet today. let's put the greeting on first, actually. That will help determine, I was having a shake now. That will help determine where I'm going to pop my flowers, the placement of the rest of it. So I'm going to lay that one just over here on the left, like that. Pop in a flower. These flowers are much darker. I'll show you my original in a moment before I re-inked my fresh freesia. I'll slide that one in underneath and then add in our leaves. Like that. Share that bit of tombow and pop them under this side. Oh, there's a dimension in the way. I'm just going to lift that up gently, add in my leaf and then press it down. And there we go. That one is done. So very simple, very white space. Let's bring in my original and you can see the difference in where I've re-inked. Of course, if you have got quite a strong ink, you can always stamp off. That will kind of give you a second generation colour. Ellie, you're crafting along. You're using fresh freesia as well. Well, there we go. What a coincidence. It's a lovely colour, isn't it? So there we go. That's today's, let's find the others. Today's cards. Sharing, let's put some glue in, some inks away. Sharing something a little different other than Christmas today. But of course, I am here for inspiration. I'm in here to give you some ideas. Hopefully you can take something from this, even if it is just the sketch, because sometimes when you don't know where to start, having a layout will just really get you rolling. Sometimes, you know, you hit that, you sit at your desk and you're not sure what to do. But if you've got a sketch or a layout to work from, you're already one step ahead. So I promised I'd share you a couple of things that we've been creating lately. So going back to, let's pull these out of the way. Going back to the Blessings of Home. So this is a sneak peek of what's coming in January. I created some cards for my team on Friday, but this is just one of them. So I'll be gently drip feeding. So we've used the large background stamp here on the reverse. Well, on the not on the reverse, on the basic white layer. And I've used it at that angle, if you can see. And then we've re-stamped it and fussy cut the centre and coloured with the Stampin' blends, and then cut out a small flower from the other stamp as well. Love the greetings in here, love that thank you. Some of the DSP hiding behind there. So that was one of my cards. And then Belle kindly created, she did a little shoebox swap for us and created some cards for us to do. And this was Belle's card, which I absolutely adore. I love the colours. I love the pop of Flirty Flamingo. And we heat embossed the greeting here with white ink. And then the flower we coloured in using the pastels, the soft pastels. So I will, once mine arrive, I will be showing you how to do things like that with it. So what a beautiful, stunning card. So Belle, thank you. If you catch up on replay, thank you so, so much for sharing how to use the pastels. And then moving that to one side and going back to Eden's Garden, which is now live, as you all know. There are stamps and dies to get, and then the exclusive items which are only available while supplies last are the papers, the cotton paper and the gems. And this was what we did at my Zoom class last night. So we just created 3 cards using the DSP and the die cut pieces. Obviously, I was the only one stamping with the set. I'm not allowed to include stamped images, so there was lots of scope to turn these into something else. So there's a little more inspiration. This was another card that I did with my team using the Eden's Garden. So such a beautiful set. So yeah, lots of ideas with that one. And I promised to share with you, I took some of the cotton paper and I spritzed it with water. Now it has got a coating on it, so it kind of doesn't seep in too well. It doesn't absorb very well, but I spritzed it and then like just scrunched it up into the tightest ball while it was damp, and then kind of pulled it out and let it dry, set it aside and let it dry. But I think that die cut, using die cuts, labels, or just mounted, if this was a card base, just actually mount it onto a layer and stick it down so it's nice and crumpled. One of the artisan design team did show that technique and I just loved it. So I wanted to just show you that another idea with the Eden's Garden. And while I'm talking about Eden's Garden, I have one space left for my class on the 27th of November. You can order the stamps and dies to go with it, or just the stamps. There's different options. The more product you buy, the cheaper your class becomes. But we're making 3 cards and a nice box as well that will hold a gift. So that's on the 27th here at the studio in the morning. So back to today's projects. Don't forget about the super deal with the join offer at the moment, and then the seasonal sale, which is on until the 18th. So on that note, I will love you and leave you. Please take care, everybody, on your travels. I may be here next Tuesday, I may be not. It depends what I'm doing if we decide to go away. But I will let you know ahead. If I'm not going to be here, I will try and get here at another point before then. So thank you all for stopping by. Please take care, everybody, and I will see you all very soon. So bye for now.